This 18th century portrait is considered to be a rarity in the history of British art. It is also one of my personal favourites, so let's talk about why this portrait is so special. And if you're a lover of all things history, then don't forget to hit the follow and let me know in the comments what sort of content you want to see. This image is a double portrait of Lady Elizabeth Murray and her cousin Dido Elizabeth Bell. The portrait was commissioned by their uncle, the 1st Earl of Mansfield, in 1778. Originally, the portrait was attributed to Johann Zoffany. However, it was later confirmed that this portrait was actually painted by Scottish artist David Martin in the Zoffany style. According to Historic England, what makes this portrait so unique and special is the fact that it is one of the few examples of 18th century British art that depicts a white woman and a black woman as near equals. Dido Elizabeth Bell was born in 1761 as the illegitimate daughter of Sir John Lindsay, a British naval officer, and an enslaved African woman named Maria. When she was 5 years old, Dido's father had her brought to London, where she was entrusted into the care of his uncle, William Murray, the 1st Earl of Mansfield. Dido was raised at Kenwood House alongside her cousin, Lady Elizabeth Murray, where she was provided with the typical education of an English gentlewoman. Dido appears to have been well loved by the Mansfield family, and it is believed that Lord Mansfield's affection for his great niece played a role in his ruling on the Somerset case of 1772, which ruled that slavers could not enforcibly remove enslaved individuals from England, as well as the Zong massacre case of 1781 to 83, where he condemned the slave trade and ruled against the owners of a slave ship who were attempting to claim insurance. Dido's position within society was ambiguous due to her illegitimacy and her race. For example, Dido was not allowed to dine with guests in Kenwood House, however she could join the ladies after dinner for coffee. No mention of Dido was made in her father's will when he died in 1788. However, she was the only one of his 5 illegitimate children acknowledged in a contemporary obituary. After the marriage of her cousin Lady Elizabeth Murray, Dido would go on to remain at Kenwood House and help to care for her great uncle in his final years. The 1st Earl of Mansfield died in 1793, leaving Dido a yearly income of £100 and a lump sum of £500, which is worth about £40,000 today. Now, admittedly, this sum is pittance when you compare it to what Lady Elizabeth Murray inherited. Elizabeth would go on to inherit £10,000 from the Earl, as well as £7,000 from her father and £22,000 from her aunt. Another significant thing about her uncle's will is that it officially confirmed Dido's freedom. Following her uncle's death on the 5th of December 1793, at the age of 32, Dido would marry a Frenchman named John de Vigny. The couple would go on to have 3 children, Charles, John, and William Thomas. The couple would reside in Pimlico, London until Dido's death in 1804 at the age of 43. Dido's last surviving direct descendant passed away in 1975